As the alien fleet loomed over Earth, an inexplicable darkness spread across the sky like a thick shroud blocking out sunlight and casting an eerie pallor over the bustling cities below. In the heart of the observatory, an astronomer named Dr. Elena Reyes stared at her screens, transfixed by the sight. Before her, the massive ships glimmered with strange hues, their technology far beyond anything humanity had ever witnessed. Each pulsating light sparked a mix of dread and fascination within her. Elena's heart raced as she adjusted the filters on her telescope, trying to decipher the alien signals that flickered across the screen. Her fingers flew over the keyboard, entering complex algorithms, seeking patterns in the chaos. As she worked, her mind raced with thoughts of what this invasion could mean for the world. Was humanity truly prepared to confront an extraterrestrial force? Just outside the observatory, chaos erupted. News of the arrival spread like wildfire. Panic surged through the streets as people grasped for answers. Crowds gathered around televisions, their faces reflecting a mixture of fear and disbelief. Governments scrambled to establish communication with the alien vessels, but the aliens remained silent, their intentions unknown. Elena knew the time for panic was over. She had to act fast. As she homed in on the hidden signal she had detected earlier, it pulsed rhythmically beneath the static, a series of tones and frequencies that felt almost musical. She suspected it was more than mere noise, perhaps a form of communication or a warning from the alien fleet. Determined, she gathered a small team of fellow scientists and engineers to assist in her quest. They worked tirelessly in the dimly lit observatory, each moment feeling like a race against time. The world outside became a cacophony of fear and despair. As rumors of destruction spread, the team focused on the signal, poring over the data, looking for meaning and a way to respond. Hours turned into days as the situation escalated. The aliens demonstrated their power by destroying a prominent monument in a major city, a symbol of human achievement, reduced to rubble in an instant. The world reeled in shock and outrage as footage of the destruction flooded social media. People felt helpless, caught between the fear of the unknown and the anger towards their invaders. Yet within the observatory, Elena and her team discovered something extraordinary. The signal contained a series of mathematical patterns and sequences, suggesting a sophisticated level of intelligence. It was an invitation to understand and communicate, rather than a threat to annihilate. This revelation sparked a glimmer of hope among them. Elena took a deep breath as she turned to her team, eyes shining with determination. "We can reach out," she declared. "We can show them who we are and what we stand for. We need to respond with something powerful, something that reflects the essence of humanity." Her words ignited a fire in her colleagues' hearts. Together they brainstormed ideas to craft a message that transcended words. They envisioned a multi-layered response using art, music, and visual imagery that captured the spirit of humanity. The goal was to touch the aliens' emotions, to reveal their shared experiences as sentient beings. As the sun rose on a new day, the observatory was alive with energy. Elena and her team worked feverishly, assembling their message. Through paintings, sounds, and stories, they created a tapestry of human experience. Each piece resonated with hope, resilience, and the unyielding spirit of humanity. With their message prepared, they gathered around the transmitter, anxiously awaiting the moment to send their creation into the vast unknown. They shared a collective breath, knowing that their silent resistance would soon be voiced to the stars above. Elena glanced at her team, their faces a mixture of fear and anticipation. It was now or never. She pressed the button, sending their creation into the depths of space, hoping against hope that it would reach the alien fleet and spark a connection that could change everything. As the signal radiated outward, she felt a sense of unity and purpose enveloping them all together. They stood on the precipice of an extraordinary journey into the unknown. As dawn broke over the world, the remnants of yesterday's chaos lingered in the air, fear and uncertainty hanging heavy like a dense fog. The aliens responded to humanity's message with an eerie silence that stretched for days, leaving everyone on edge. Governments attempted to establish control, but the people were restless, the once bustling streets now filled with whispers and anxious glances. In major cities, massive screens displayed updates about the alien fleet, their ominous presence, a constant reminder of the threat looming overhead. News anchors spoke with a sense of urgency as they reported on military preparations and strategies, but the underlying fear was palpable. What if they attacked again? What if they escalated the situation further? Elena sat in the observatory, her eyes glued to the monitors, seeking any sign of the alien response. The team had poured their hearts into the message, a testament to human creativity and resilience. Yet all they received in return was silence. The world outside felt like it was holding its breath. Then the silence shattered with a thunderous boom. A brilliant light flashed in the sky, illuminating the day and revealing a colossal ship descending upon one of the world's largest cities. A sense of dread washed over the observatory team as they watched the news unfold. On the screens, a prominent landmark crumbled to the ground, the sound echoing through the streets like a funeral dirge. The camera focused on the devastation. Panic surged through the crowd as people ran screaming from the scene. Elena's heart sank as she witnessed the destruction, the power of the alien technology overwhelming and brutal. She turned to her team, desperation clawing at her throat. They can't see us as monsters. We need to show them our humanity. As cities scrambled to respond to the new crisis, a group of ordinary citizens began to gather in defiance of the chaos. In parks and squares, they formed circles of solidarity, exchanging stories and sharing their fears. A movement ignited, fueled by the belief that unity could be their greatest weapon against the backdrop of destruction. These brave individuals found strength in one another. Back in the observatory, Elena's team worked tirelessly to analyze the alien technology, hoping to find a weakness or a way to communicate again. They pored over data charts and models, searching for a way to turn the tide. The alien ships had incredible power, but there must be a way to connect with them on a deeper level. Days turned into a blur of sleepless nights as fear transformed into determination and creativity blossomed in the face of adversity. Elena proposed a bold idea. Let's create a visual spectacle, something that could captivate their attention and convey our resolve. She envisioned a global art project using lights, sounds, and colors to craft a mesmerizing display. The team rallied behind her, bringing artists, engineers, and musicians into the fold. They collaborated to design an awe-inspiring installation across multiple cities, stretching from one coast to the other. Illuminated drones danced in the night sky, while synchronized lights painted the horizon. The goal was to create a breathtaking experience that would transcend fear and ignite curiosity. As the night of the display approached, the world held its breath. In every corner of the globe, people prepared to participate in a unified act of resistance. They set up lights, arranged sculptures, and practiced their performances. The energy was electric, a collective heartbeat pulsing with hope. Elena stood before the massive screens in the observatory, a mixture of excitement and trepidation coursing through her veins. She knew they were taking a significant risk, but it felt necessary. And this was more than a spectacle. It was a declaration of humanity's spirit. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the moment arrived. The lights flickered to life, illuminating the world in a dazzling display. The synchronized dance of colors filled the night sky as the sound of music resonated through the air. The message was clear: we are here, and we will not be silenced. With bated breath, Elena and her team watched as the spectacle unfolded across the globe, hoping against hope that their message would reach the alien fleet and spark something within them, something that could lead to understanding instead of destruction. As the dazzling display of lights filled the night sky, a profound silence enveloped the world for a fleeting moment. The colors danced and shimmered, creating patterns that seemed to pulse with life, a visual symphony that spoke of hope, unity, and resilience. Elena stood at the observatory, transfixed by the beauty unfolding, before her heart racing with anticipation. Across the globe, millions watched, captivated by the spectacle. Each flicker and burst of light was a reminder of what humanity could achieve when united. The streets filled with people who sang and danced, celebrating their shared spirit and defiance against the encroaching darkness. They held hands, forming a chain that stretched as far as the eye could see. As the performance reached its crescendo, Elena's team monitored the alien fleet, anxiously searching for any sign of a response. Would they dismiss this act of creativity, or would it resonate within them? Would it reach the hearts of the beings who had cast such a shadow over their world? Then suddenly the screens flickered to life, displaying the massive alien ships hovering in the atmosphere. Their surfaces shimmered, as if reacting to the colors and music that flooded the air. The team gasped collectively as they watched a series of lights begin to pulse rhythmically in response to the display. It was an unspoken dialogue unfolding before their eyes. Elena's heart soared as she realized the aliens were not only observing, but engaging in a way that transcended their initial hostility. The rhythmic patterns echoed the music and lights from Earth, creating a bridge between the two species. A message was forming, one that hinted at curiosity rather than aggression. In the days that followed, the alien fleet remained silent, but their ships began to shift position, aligning in a way that suggested they were gathering to witness the spectacle from different angles. They seemed intrigued by humanity's resilience, the creativity that flowed from every corner of the planet. Back on Earth, a sense of hope emerged amid the fear. The movement sparked by the display grew as people took to the streets, holding forums and discussions on how to reach out to their mysterious visitors. They shared ideas on art, music, and communication, creating a vibrant tapestry of human expression and emotion. Elena and her team began to document the response from the aliens. Analyzing the data and the patterns they had observed, they realized that the aliens were attempting to mimic the rhythms and colors, their way of expressing interest, perhaps even a desire to communicate. Drawing on this new understanding, Elena proposed a daring idea. Let's reach out again, but this time let's build on what we've created. She envisioned a multi-dimensional approach, combining the best of their previous efforts with new elements inspired by the aliens' reactions. The aim was to create an immersive experience that would foster a deeper connection. They gathered artists, scientists, and musicians, all eager to contribute to the next phase of their mission. Together, they crafted an elaborate plan to create a series of live performances, synchronized with visual displays, that would invite the aliens to join in. This time, they would not just be spectators, but participants in a grand exchange of cultures. As the team prepared for the next phase of their endeavor, the world watched with bated breath, hoping that the aliens would respond to this invitation with openness and curiosity. Would they embrace the opportunity to engage in a dialogue of creativity and understanding? With each passing day, the atmosphere shifted from fear to excitement. A sense of anticipation hung in the air as people eagerly awaited the next chance to connect with their visitors from the stars. The message was clear: humanity would not resort to violence or despair, but would instead embrace the power of expression and creativity as their greatest tools for resistance. As the date for the next performance approached, Elena felt a sense of unity binding everyone together. A collective heartbeat pulsed through the streets as people prepared to share their stories and experiences with their extraterrestrial visitors. A shared hope blossomed that perhaps this time they could truly connect and build a bridge between worlds. As the day of the new performance approached, excitement buzzed through the air like electricity. People gathered in park stadiums and open spaces, setting up stages and preparing for the grand event. Artists painted murals that depicted humanity's struggles and triumphs, while musicians tuned their instruments, ready to share their songs of hope and resilience. Elena stood in the observatory with her team monitoring the alien fleet hovering silently above Earth. They had received intermittent pulses of light from the ships indicating that the aliens were still engaged. Intrigued by the vibrant expressions of humanity below them, the world was preparing a spectacle unlike any other. With each passing hour, the anticipation grew. Elena felt the weight of responsibility pressing on her shoulders. This was not just an artistic endeavor, it was a chance to bridge the gap between two worlds, to show the aliens that humanity was more than just a target to be conquered. As the sun began to set, the world came alive with color, and the performances started across the globes, synchronized like a well-rehearsed dance in every city. The lights twinkled in harmony with the music, creating a universal language that echoed through the air. Elena watched as the first notes of the symphony filled the observatory. The combined melodies soared, creating a sense of unity that resonated with every listener. She felt a connection to those performing, and to the aliens above who were now watching in rapt attention. Then something extraordinary happened. The alien ships began to shift and respond, their lights, flickering in patterns that mimicked the music below each pulse, seemed to echo the rhythms of humanity's performance, as if the aliens were attempting to join in this newfound exchange. Elena's heart raced as she realized they were truly communicating. The aliens were not merely observing, but engaging with the performance in a way that suggested they understood and appreciated the effort. It felt as if the invisible barrier between them was beginning to dissolve. As the performances continued across the globe, the energy built to a crescendo. The synchronized displays of light and sound invited the aliens to participate in the celebration of existence. Together, humans and aliens danced through the cosmos, connected by a shared appreciation for creativity and expression. Amidst the performances, a group of artists crafted a final piece, a massive holographic mural that depicted scenes of both human and alien life. The images blended together, showcasing the beauty of diversity and the power of connection. The mural became a visual representation of their hopes and dreams for a future of cooperation. As the last notes faded into the night, Elena felt a wave of emotion wash over her. She turned to her team, tears in her eyes. "It's working," she whispered. "The aliens are responding in ways we never imagined." In that moment, the screens flickered to life, showing the alien ships bathed in radiant light. Their patterns grew more intricate, evolving into a dance of their own as they began to create their own stunning display in the sky. This was a monumental breakthrough, a sign that they were no longer adversaries but potential allies. But just as hope began to blossom, a sudden flash of bright light erupted from the alien fleet. It was a jolt of energy that pulsed through the air, silencing the performances and casting a shadow over the joyous atmosphere. Elena felt her heart sink. What could this mean? She and her team scrambled to analyze the data, but the readings were chaotic. The alien ships shifted rapidly, as if something had sparked a deep reaction within them. Was this a sign of aggression, or a new form of communication that had yet to be understood? As the world held its breath, Elena knew they had reached a critical moment. The path forward was uncertain, but one thing was clear: the connection they had begun to forge was fragile and precious. They had to find a way to turn this moment into an opportunity for understanding and dialogue. With renewed determination, Elena rallied her team. "We have to find out what this means. We can't give up now. This is just the beginning of our journey together." As the blinding flash from the alien fleet faded, the atmosphere shifted from anticipation to tension. Elena's heart raced as she and her team worked frantically to decipher the alien response. Their screens flashed with data streaming in chaotic bursts. They needed to make sense of the energy wave that had disrupted their moment of connection. Elena focused intently on the readings, trying to find a pattern amidst the chaos. The pulse of energy was unlike anything they had encountered before. It was powerful and vibrant, suggesting a deep emotional response. From the alien ships, she sensed that they were grappling with something profound. Meanwhile, around the globe, people were still processing the abrupt end to their performances. Confusion and concern spread like wildfire as news outlets broadcast the chaotic scene. The world held its breath, waiting for answers. Elena gathered her team in the observatory. They needed to regroup and analyze the situation together. "We have to remember what we've accomplished," she urged. "We reached them." And they reached back. "This is a breakthrough." One of the engineers pointed to the data on the screen. "This pulse, it's not just random. It seems to be a form of communication. Look here at the frequency patterns. They resemble the rhythmic pulses we sent earlier." Elena's eyes widened as she realized that the aliens were attempting to communicate through their response. It was a sign of engagement, not aggression. They were trying to convey something deeper, perhaps even sharing their own fears or struggles. "We need to respond," she said, her voice firm. "We have to find a way to reach them again. We can't let fear dictate our actions. We've come too far." The team sprang into action, brainstorming ideas for a new message. They discussed various forms of expression, focusing on music, visual art, and even storytelling. They recognized that the aliens might not understand their symbols, but emotions could transcend barriers. With renewed vigor, they decided to create a series of soundscapes that encapsulated human emotions: joy, sorrow, hope, and fear. They would send these soundscapes as a way to establish a deeper connection, one that reached beyond the visual to the very core of their shared existence. As they worked feverishly through the night, creating sounds that resonated with the essence of humanity, Elena felt a sense of urgency enveloping them. They were on the cusp of something monumental, and she could feel the weight of their mission pressing down on her. Finally, after hours of collaboration, they had crafted a soundscape that was both haunting and beautiful. It blended the cries of laughter and sorrow, the whispers of dreams and fears. Each note was carefully designed to evoke emotion, aiming to resonate with whatever lay within the hearts of the aliens. With the soundscape ready, they prepared to transmit it into the vast expanse of space. Elena's fingers trembled as she activated the communication system. This time, they would not just send a message, but an experience that could touch the very essence of their visitors. As the sound began to travel through the ether, Elena held her breath, hoping against hope that the aliens would respond. She envisioned the alien beings listening, absorbing the waves of sound that carried with them the entirety of human experience. Suddenly, the screens lit up again, displaying the alien fleet. Their ships pulsed with vibrant colors, responding to the sound waves in a mesmerizing display. The patterns formed intricate designs that mirrored the emotions conveyed in the soundscape. Elena felt a surge of hope as she realized they were no longer mere spectators. They were part of a larger narrative, unfolding between two worlds. The aliens seemed to be sharing their own emotions through their lights, their response a vivid dance of color that spoke of curiosity and understanding. In that moment, Elena knew they were on the brink of forging a true connection, one that could reshape the fate of both species. They were moving from fear to collaboration, and the possibilities ahead felt limitless. Yet, beneath the excitement, a question lingered: what challenges lay ahead? Could they sustain this fragile bond and transform it into something lasting? As the vibrant lights from the alien ships danced in harmony with the soundscape, a palpable sense of excitement filled the observatory. Elena and her team watched in awe as their efforts began to bear fruit. The aliens were engaging on a level that transcended language and culture, revealing a shared desire for connection. However, beneath the surface of this newfound camaraderie, tensions were brewing within the alien fleet. Reports surfaced of a faction that viewed humanity as a threat rather than a potential ally. These dissenters believed that the display of creativity and emotion was merely a facade masking humanity's true nature. Elena could sense the delicate balance of their progress. Was their bridge to understanding strong enough to withstand the pressures of fear and misunderstanding? In the days that followed, Elena and her team continued to engage with the aliens through music and art, but she couldn't shake the feeling of impending danger. she reached out to global leaders, urging them to prioritize peace over aggression and to remain vigilant against those who might exploit fear. Meanwhile, across the alien ships, a council convened to address the growing division. The faction that opposed contact with humanity grew louder, fueled by fear of the unknown. They believe that by showing vulnerability, the aliens risked their survival. Within the council, an alien leader named Zephyr stood up. He was a charismatic figure, respected by many and feared by some. His deep voice resonated as he spoke. "We face a critical decision before us," he began. "Humanity has shown creativity and emotion, unlike any other species we have encountered. But we must ask ourselves, are they truly a threat or an opportunity for alliance?" His words hung in the air, and murmurs rippled through the assembly. The dissenters argued vehemently that trust could not be established with a species that had caused destruction on their own planet. They pointed to the events of the past, the wars and conflicts that had plagued humanity for centuries. But Zephyr pressed on. "We cannot let fear dictate our choices. We must be willing to explore the unknown together. We can forge a path that benefits both our worlds." In the observatory, Elena received reports of the Alien Council's deliberations. She understood the weight of their decisions and how fragile their connection had become. They had to demonstrate that humanity was capable of peace and collaboration. Inspired by Zephyr's words, Elena proposed a bold idea. "Let's invite the aliens to participate in a live event where we can showcase our shared values. This would be a direct invitation for them to witness humanity at its best. It would be a chance to demonstrate that their creativity was not merely a tool for resistance, but a foundation for understanding." The team rallied behind her concept together. They planned an extraordinary event combining music, art, and storytelling that would celebrate the shared experiences of both species. It would be a multi-dimensional experience, streamed live to both Earth and the alien fleet. As the date approached, Elena felt a surge of anxiety. What if the aliens rejected their invitation? What if fear and misunderstanding prevailed, and the fragile bond they had begun to forge unraveled? Yet she remained resolute. She believed that the power of creativity could transcend barriers, and that this was their opportunity to turn the tide. They had to show the aliens that humanity was capable of unity and compassion. Finally, the day of the event arrived. People gathered in parks, arenas, and homes across the globe, eagerly waiting to participate. As the performance began, Elena stood in the observatory, ready to transmit the event into the alien fleet. With a deep breath, she pressed the button, unleashing a celebration of hope and resilience into the cosmos. As the performance unfolded, Elena could feel the energy building within her. The music flowed, the lights danced, and the stories of humanity intertwined, creating a tapestry of existence that reached for the stars. She held on to the hope that their message would resonate with the alien fleet and bridge the divide that threatened to tear them apart. As the event unfolded, a wave of emotion washed over Elena and her team. The performance transcended mere entertainment. It became a powerful declaration of unity and hope. The combined efforts of artists, musicians, and storytellers resonated deeply within the hearts of those watching, both on Earth and within the alien fleet. Back on the alien ships, tensions were palpable. As the council gathered to witness the spectacle, Zephyr stood at the forefront, his gaze fixed on the screens displaying the vibrant celebration of humanity. He felt a stirring within him as the melodies intertwined with visuals of laughter, love, and resilience. But the dissenting faction remained unconvinced. Their leader, a stern figure named Vortak, watched with disdain. "This display of emotion is a manipulation," he insisted. "We cannot trust them. They are capable of destruction and deceit." Zephyr countered Vortak's argument. "We cannot deny the beauty in their expression. This is our chance to understand them, to see if they truly seek connection rather than conflict." As the performances continued, the humans shared stories of their struggles and triumphs. weaving a narrative that highlighted their capacity for compassion and creativity. The aliens listened intently as the soundscape enveloped them with warmth and sincerity. Then, as the climax approached, a sudden surge of energy erupted from the alien ships. The vibrant colors pulsed in time with the music, creating a breathtaking display that mirrored the performance unfolding below. It was a response that caught everyone off guard. Elena and her team watched in awe as the lights formed intricate patterns, spelling out a message in the sky, a symbol of peace that flickered like a heartbeat. The audience gasped at the sight, feeling an overwhelming sense of connection. But just as hope blossomed, Vortak raised his voice in protest. "We cannot allow this to continue. We risk everything by showing vulnerability. What if they exploit our goodwill? What if they turn on us in our moment of weakness?" Zephyrin faced Vortak with determination. "If we retreat into fear, we will lose the chance to build a future together. We must demonstrate that our strength lies in unity, not in isolation." The council fell into heated debate, voices rising and falling like waves. Yet amid the discord, a growing number of aliens began to feel the pull of Zephyr's vision. They watched as the humans poured their hearts into the performance, believing that this connection could lead to something extraordinary. Meanwhile, on Earth, the performance reached its climax. Elena felt the energy surging through her. She could sense that something monumental was unfolding. The humans stood together as one, showcasing their resilience in the face of adversity. As the final notes rang out, a moment of silence followed. The audience held their breath, waiting for a response. Would the aliens embrace this opportunity to forge a new alliance, or would they succumb to fear and distrust? Suddenly, the alien fleet erupted in a dazzling display of lights that filled the sky. They began to synchronize their colors with the final chords of the music, creating a visual harmony that transcended the barriers of language and culture. Elena's heart raced as she realized they were not just responding, they were joining in the celebration, their lights forming a tapestry of unity across the vastness of space. This moment was pivotal, a testament to the power of creativity to bridge divides and foster understanding. But just as hope began to settle in the air, Vortak stood up again, his voice a thunderclap cutting through the celebration. "We cannot allow this to continue," he addressed the council with fervor. "This is a distraction from the truth. We must prepare for the worst." Elena watched as uncertainty washed over the council. Could this newfound connection withstand the pressures of fear and dissent? Would they move forward into collaboration or retreat into conflict? As Vortak's voice echoed through the council chamber, Zephyrin felt the weight of the moment pressing down on him. This was a pivotal juncture that could determine the fate of both species. The vibrant display outside served as a reminder of the connection they had begun to forge. "We must choose hope over fear," Zephyrin urged his fellow council members. "We cannot let doubt destroy what we have built together. We have the power to create a future that benefits us all." But the dissenters were growing restless. They whispered among themselves, their fear spreading like wildfire. The fear of the unknown overshadowed the beauty of the celebration outside. Meanwhile, on Earth, the atmosphere was electric. People watched in awe as the alien ships continued to dance in sync with their performance. The connection felt palpable yet fragile as Elena and her team held their breath, waiting for a definitive response. In the council chamber, Zephyrin addressed the dissenters with passion. "We must send a message of unity back to Earth. This moment is not just about us, but about what we can become together. We cannot afford to let fear dictate our choices." Vortak sneered. "If we do not act now, we risk everything. We must prepare for potential conflict instead of indulging in this foolishness." But the tide began to turn as more council members began to voice their support for Zephyrin. They saw the potential in what had been created. The music and lights outside were not just mere entertainment, but a call to collaboration, a plea for understanding. In that moment, a young council member named Ilar stood up, speaking with conviction. I have witnessed the power of their creativity. They have shared their joys and sorrows with us. They are reaching out in a way that we cannot ignore." Her words sparked a renewed sense of hope among the council. The tide of dissent began to shift as they contemplated the possibility of cooperation and understanding. Outside on Earth, the performance continued to resonate with audiences around the globe. The message of unity was clear and powerful every note, and every light symbolized the desire for connection. The world held its breath as they awaited the aliens' decision. Then suddenly the alien ships pulsed with vibrant colors, forming a breathtaking array of patterns that lit up the night sky. The ships began to shift position, spelling out a message that echoed the sentiment shared by both species. In that moment, Zephyrin pressed forward. "This is our opportunity to send a message of peace and solidarity. Let us show the humans that we stand with them, that we choose collaboration over conflict." As the council convened, they agreed unanimously to respond with a declaration of unity. They sent a pulse of energy toward Earth that resonated with the soundscape created by humanity. The wave of energy enveloped the planet, sending a clear message: we are ready to connect. Back in the observatory, Elena felt tears of relief streaming down her face. The response was beyond anything they could have imagined. The alien ships shimmered in a beautiful display, reflecting the harmony they had created together. As the performance reached its conclusion, the world erupted in cheers. People embraced each other, sharing tears of joy and relief. They had reached beyond fear into a realm of possibility and hope. Elena stood alongside her team, watching the skies filled with light. They understood that this was just the beginning. The journey ahead would not be easy, but they had taken the first step toward forging a lasting connection. In that moment, she felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the resilience of humanity and the potential for collaboration with the aliens. They had transformed a moment of fear into a celebration of unity and creativity. And as the stars twinkled overhead, Elena knew that together they could build a future that transcended their differences, embracing the shared beauty of existence that connected them all.